Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. So today I'm going to be doing the ultimate Harry Potter tag. Now I just want to say, yes, I got the idea from Tessa Netting. She's one of my favourite vloggers, one of my favourite Harry Potter vloggers. So, you know, I'm not copying her, you know, I just saw that she'd done the tag and I thought I want to do the tag as well, just because. So the questions come from the Harry Potter Amino, which I urge you all to join. It's really great, so I will leave the link to that in the description. There are 30 questions on this ultimate Harry Potter tag, and they all come in like different categories, so I will be reading out the category when a new category starts. So for example, general, characters, and I will be reading out the question number. I will also leave the questions in the description for anyone who wants to do it themselves. Quick disclaimer, by the way, I'm only going to be doing Harry Potter. I'm not including Fantastic Beasts movies in this, just because it's a Harry Potter tag, and I kind of want to keep it uncomplicated as possible. So, just Harry Potter. General. Favourite book. So my favourite book is The Prisoner of Azkaban, just because it's got Lupin, the Marauders, you know, werewolf transformation. I have this memory of like sitting up reading it and of writing down like, you know, the spells. I had like a little notebook I would write all the spells in so I could practice when my magic came in. So, you know, I have really fond memories of that. Number 2, least favourite book. I love all the books, but I have to say Order of the Phoenix for this one, just because it's like a fucking brick. You know, like, it's a good book, and I love J.K. Rowling's writing style. Her writing style has inspired a lot of my own writing, but at the same time, it's just she could have cut out so much unnecessary, like, over explaining detail. It's just that I feel like she explained things several times that didn't need to be explained, so, you know, that's just why it's my least favourite, because it is so long and so dense and it takes forever to read. Number 3, favourite movie. My favourite Harry Potter movie, again, has to be Prisoner of Azkaban, just because I love the tone of the film. I feel like it's a lot darker than the previous two, which feels natural to me because they're 14 in this one, and so that makes a lot of sense to me. I also really love, you know, the little glimpses of Ron and Hermione we see, like her taking his hand when she gets scared. I loved Gary Oldman as Sirius Black. I love David Thewlis as Lupin. I know a lot of people didn't, but I really do. He's one of my favourite actors. I just really love Prisoner of Azkaban. Least favourite movie. I know I talk a lot of shit about David Yates because he ruined the last 4 Harry Potter movies, but my least favourite Potter movie probably has to be Goblet of Fire. Bearing in mind, you've got Prisoner of Azkaban before it, and it's just so tonally dark, and you feel like it's maturing, and then you get to Goblet of Fire, and it's not until the end it becomes a bit more mature. The whole bit before it is just like a romantic comedy, which, don't get me wrong, I love a rom-com as much as the next person, but like, you know, I just felt like it was a little bit unnecessary to turn Harry Potter into a bit of a rom-com. If I had to choose any other film that was my least favourite, it would probably be Order of the Phoenix, just because of how much content they cut out, especially with Ron and Ginny's character. Quote. This is really cheesy, I'm sure everyone says this, but I love the one is in the Prisoner of Azkaban movie where Dumbledore says, "Happiness can be found even in the darkest times, if only one remembers to turn on the light." Like, I just really love that quote. Like, having had depression and stuff, I could sort of relate to that quote. I can't remember who said this other quote I really love. I think it might have been Sirius, and I can't remember what movie it was in, but he said about how the ones we love never truly leave us. And I don't know, like, I kind of like that quote because my grandmother passed away in 2017, so I like to think she's still with me in some way, even if I can't see her. I just think there are a lot of good quotes in Harry Potter. Now we're on to characters. Number 6, favourite Weasley. Look, I love all the Weasleys so much, alright? Molly and Arthur. I love Ron, Ginny, Bill, Charlie, Percy, the twins. I love all of them. But if I had to choose one, like if you were like putting a wand to my temple and said, "Megan, you gotta choose just one," I would probably have to choose Ginny. I'm gonna go with Ginny just because when I was younger I really wanted to have red hair, and I was so obsessed with Ginny because she had bright red hair. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Ginny for that one. Number 7, favourite female character. Okay, look, if we're going just based on the books, Hermione. But if we're talking about the movies as well, movie Hermione rubs me the wrong way for a number of reasons. I absolutely love book Hermione because she reminds me a lot of myself, which I'm sure is true for a lot of people because she loves to read. She's a bit geeky. Well, I say geeky, she's like really intelligent. She's always in the library. And, you know, she's not particularly pretty in the books either. She's got quite bushy hair, big front teeth, which, you know, I relate to. So I absolutely love book Hermione. And I like Hermione in the movies, don't get me wrong. I think Emma Watson is a great Hermione. I love Emma Watson. But at the same time, I feel like movie Hermione was just too perfect. And I'm not saying that's Emma Watson's fault. I think that's more to do with like David Yates and Steve Kloves. If we're talking about the movies, probably McGonagall. Just because I think McGonagall is absolutely amazing. McGonagall is like a badass. Favourite villain? I was gonna say Lord Voldemort or like a hot young Voldemort, but I forgot who the other villains were. I forgot who the other villains were. Oh my god. Let's just put it out there, it's definitely not Umbridge. Let's just put it out there. I'm gonna go with Bellatrix because she is absolutely fucking nuts, so I love her because she doesn't give a shit. Number 9, favourite male character. I'm gonna go with Ron. I feel like Ron is so underappreciated and unloved in this fandom. Even though he's loyal, he's funny, he's good at chess, you know, in the books he's this really amazing guy, and I feel like Rupert Grint got the bad end of the stick because they absolutely messed up Ron in the movies, so. Number 10, favourite professor. It's either McGonagall or Lupin because they're both the best teachers Hogwarts have had, and you know, you might disagree, but I'm not going to change my mind on that. McGonagall and Lupin, best 2 teachers at Hogwarts. That's all I'm going to say. So the next ones are would you rather questions. Number 11. Would you rather A, wash Snape's hair, or B, spend a day listening to Lockhart rant about himself? I'm going to go with B because I just don't want to touch any part of Severus Snape. Especially not his hair. You don't know where his hair's been. It's like all greasy. So, you know, I'm going to go with B for that one. Number 12. Would you rather Duel A, an elated Bellatrix, or B, an angry Molly? Is there even a question about this? I'd rather duel Bellatrix. Like, you know, Molly Weasley would probably fucking destroy me, so I'm gonna stay as far away from angry Molly Weasley as possible. Number 13. Would you rather travel to Hogwarts via A, Hogwarts Express, or B, flying car? Is this even like a serious question? I'm sorry, who the fuck's gonna choose a flying car over the Hogwarts Express? Like, come on, that's the whole point of the Hogwarts, like the whole Hogwarts experience is going on the Hogwarts Express. Number 14. Would you rather A, kiss Voldemort, or B, give Umbridge a bubble bath? I would rather snog Voldemort's snake face than give that bitch a bubble bath. Like, I'm sorry, I would rather kiss him and die or something than go anywhere near that pink bitch. Number 15. Would you rather A, ride a Hippogriff, or B, ride a Firebolt? I'm gonna go with the Hippogriff just because I feel like the Hippogriff would probably support my weight more, whereas like a broomstick like would be a bit uncomfortable between your legs. So I'm gonna go with the Hippogriff. So the next section is book to movie adaptation. So number 16. Is there a character which you felt differently about in the movies versus books? I mean, sort of. I got really pissed off with how they adapted Ron and Ginny, but I mean I didn't feel any different about them because I knew who they really were in the books, but like, you know, that just really pissed me off. Number 17. Is there a movie you preferred instead of the book? No. No. Books are always better. Let's be honest, books are always better. 18. Richard Harris or Michael Gambon as Dumbledore. I know a lot of people bitch about Michael Gambon as Dumbledore, but I actually didn't think it was that bad. Dumbledore in the earlier books, like, that was Richard Harris, like the whole merry, sort of twinkly-eyed, a bit odd kind of old man. That, I feel like that was definitely where Richard Harris wins out. But then if we're talking about physicality, I can't imagine Richard Harris doing that. Maybe just because, you know, I know he was sick when they were filming the Harry Potter films he was in. But he does look a bit... He looks like he wouldn't be able to do all, like, the physical stuff that they do in the later movies with Dumbledore. So, you know, I can't really decide, because I don't want to, like, diss either of them, because I feel like they both did a great job in their own ways. They were both different, but they did a good job. Number 19. Your top thing, person, or event which wasn't included in the movie that annoyed you the most. I'm just gonna put this out here right now. I was so pissed off that they didn't include Lupin leaving Tonks while she was pregnant, and then, like, Harry having a go at him. Like, oh, I can't imagine my dad would approve of you leaving your wife and unborn child to go off gallivanting or whatever. Like, that pissed me off. Actually, the whole thing that pissed me off was the whole lack of Lupin and Tonks in general. Like, they cut out their whole fucking relationship. That really, really pisses me off. I have no words. It just pisses me off. Because you have, like, two great actors. They could have done really, really great stuff with it. They were trying in the background to do stuff with it, but it's just like, why the fuck would you cut that shit out? It's important. 20. If you could remake any of the Potter movies, which would it be? I would remake Order of the Phoenix, just because the amount they cut out was actually abominable. Like, they cut out Quidditch. They cut out most of Ginny's character. They cut out so much in that film, it just pissed me off to no end. So, you know, I would probably remake that one. I mean, I would love to just remake the whole previous 4 films in general, but if I had to pick just one of them to remake, I would remake Order of the Phoenix, because, guys, come on. So, Hogwarts, number 21. Which house was your first gut feeling you'd be a part of? Oh, that's tricky. Look, everyone when they read it believes they're gonna be like a Gryffindor, because you're like, that's the most fleshed out house. But then when you learn more about the other houses, you kind of sort of change your mind a bit. I've always felt like I would be a Gryffindor, but recently I have come to accept that I'm a little bit of Hufflepuff as well. If you could be like part Hufflepuff as well as Gryffindor, that would be me. But I think my gut feeling was that I was a Gryffindor, just because that was the most fleshed out one. And I didn't know anything about the other houses when I was reading it. So I would, you know, that would have been my, I wouldn't say that was a gut feeling, but that was just my assumption. 22. Which house were you actually sorted into on Pottermore? I've taken the Pottermore test 100 times. And I would say most of the time I get Gryffindor. And then the one I've got the second most amount of times is Hufflepuff. Like, I would say like maybe 30% or something the time I get Hufflepuff. And then I've had Ravenclaw once. I've never ever gotten Slytherin, which is kind of upsetting, because I would have thought, being an actor, I would get Slytherin for being ambitious, but it's mostly Gryffindor. Like, I retake the test every so often, and it puts me into Gryffindor most of the time. So, what class would be your favourite? You know, when I was younger, I used to think it would be Defense Against the Dark Arts, but now I'm older, I would love to do Care of Magical Creatures. Like, you could, like, pet Nifflers in Care of Magical Creatures and hang out with Bowtruckles. What's not to love about that? So my favourite would probably be Care of Magical Creatures. Which spell do you think would be most useful to learn? Look, this is even me joking. Deadass Accio, because I'm always losing shit. So if I had Accio, that would help me out so much. I always lose shit, it's not even funny. 25. Which character at Hogwarts do you think you'd become best friends with? I think if I knew Hermione in real life, she would annoy the fuck out of me. Like, I would not want to be Hermione's friend, because I feel like she would nag you to study. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Hermione, but at the same time, she would annoy the fuck out of me. I would want to be friends with Ginny, because she's cool, and she's got a fiery temper, but I feel like maybe she's too cool for me to hang out with. I don't know, it's a difficult one. I want to say Ginny, but I feel like Ginny's too cool for me. So we've got some miscellaneous questions now. 26. If you could own one of the 3 Hallows, which would it be? I have no need for a wand that conquers every single person. Like, you know, I would be happy with my wand that chose me. I'd be happy, like, I've got Tina's wand right here. I would be happy with just like something like Tina's wand. Because then it'd be like, oh my god, I've actually got a wand. I could see myself wanting the Resurrection Stone though, even if it didn't bring my Nan back properly, because I would want to talk to her one last time. But also the invisibility cloak, because I would love to just go into Waterstones and steal all their Harry Potter merch without anyone noticing. I don't advocate stealing, by the way. I would never steal. I've never stolen in my life, but I'm just saying. I would probably want to own the Resurrection Stone just so I could talk to my grandmother one last time and ask her advice on some stuff. Yeah, just that one. Is there any aspect of the books you'd want to change? This can be a character, event, anything. No, I don't think there is. I mean, that's a difficult question because I love everything about the books. Number 28, favourite Marauder. I already said Lupin for a question, but I'm going to say Lupin again, just because he's the only one who wasn't bullying people. He wasn't bullying outright, but he was letting his friends do it. But at the same time, I still love Lupin, because he's Lupin and he turns into a werewolf, and I want to hug him, and I want to give him some chocolate. 29, if you could bring one character back to life, which would it be? We're talking only one here, which is why I'm not going to bring back Lupin or Tonks, because I would want to bring them both back together. But I think the death that really hurt me the most when I was reading the books was Fred. You read the books and it's just like Fred and George and Gred and Forge, and then, you know, every time the twins are separated, something bad happens to them. So I would want to bring Fred back, just because the whole idea of just George mourning and like being without his twin for the rest of his life, it just really upsets me. So I would want to bring back Fred. Finally, question 30, Hallows or Horcruxes? Now this is actually a question that's very important in the Deathly Hallows, I realised when I was rereading it recently. Because there is a moment Harry has to decide which is he going to choose, Horcruxes or Hallows. And it's at Shell Cottage when he has to decide, am I going to question Ollivander first or am I going to question Griphook first? And ultimately he chooses to question Griphook, which means he chooses the Horcruxes over the Hallows. But then again, he was trying to destroy the Horcruxes, so like, if you're talking about which would I rather have for myself, the Hallows, because I feel like, you know, with the Horcruxes, you're like killing people and it's serious dark magic, and I don't advocate for that at all. So I would go for the Hallows, just because they're less dangerous and dark. Alright, so that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like or a comment or to subscribe. If you want to follow me on social media, all my links are in the description. Don't forget that I've got a coffee page, so if you like what I'm doing, please feel free to support me, and I shall see you in the next video.